be in that position. So I play with the old men. I play with my style, my coaches. And I let the players go do their thing. They like to swing really hard on the ball, and that's not my style. So what are the questions? I
Coach,
don't.
it's a good problem to have when you're managing the expectations to come from an 11-2 season instead of a 5-7 season. How are you doing that? Has it changed your approach change, or
Uh,
how do you manage it?
I think you guys have been around me when we had the 5-7 season. There's some really good things that we did that year. I don't think you just trashed that whole year because it didn't work out in our favor. There's some really cool competitive games that we did. It's taking that season and then learning from all the mistakes that I made as a head coach. I'm still learning. I mean, I'm going in my 10th year as a head coach. I can tell you now, I'm going in my 10th year compared to going my first year. I feel a lot more comfortable in this role. And there's a lot of things that I learned along the way. Some of them were just the school of hard knocks, where you just like the experience is tough and some of them embarrassing. But I'm not against learning. So if it means that I get embarrassed and I make bad decisions, I'm going to own up to it and try to figure it out. But I'm also trying to figure things out more. I'm trying to learn as much as I can. I've learned quite a bit from so many people, specifically the players. They've been. I mean, their football IQ is amazing, but their connection and their love for the game and love for each other. I mean, that's something that I really thrive on. And then kind of being around the fans. I mean, that if you're a good fan, you're going to have an opinion. I don't mind hearing them all out. I was on a cruise with all BYU Cougar fans on a cruise for a week. They gave me a bunch of advice, gave me a bunch of opinions. I didn't mind it at all, man. This is what I love to do, and so I this is a really cool experience for me. The fact that we went 11-2 last year, it just means that we were able to win some of the closer games that we lost in the 5-7 year. So the attention to detail becomes how do we keep improving, not thinking about the end result. I'm thinking about how can we get better as a program. But this had already started. If you listen to what I said earlier with the media, with the entire media, is I mentioned this was a plan that was put in place when Tom Homo hired me first year, and we said let's try to get ourselves ready so that when we do enter a power conference, that we'll be able to create some momentum. This was all Tom's vision. I'm lucky and honored that I became part of that and part of the plan. And then all I had to do was sacrifice my record. I mean, there's some. I mean, you remember the year that we played Wisconsin? They came down to Provo and they spanked us. It was embarrassing up front. But how else are we going to learn? What's a better teacher than the experience of being physically manhandled? And then a year later, we go up to Wisconsin Camp Randall. We beat them. So that right there is a great learning experience. We had many of those along the way, and we're learning that as we are in this Big 12 in this conference. I'm enjoying every part of it, man. I don't know what this year is going to bring us. I don't know what the record is going to look like. I just know I'm going to enjoy the process and I'm going to have fun doing it.
Talking about maintaining your staff, how close do you feel you were to potentially losing guys?
I think every year there's always a threat. If you're doing things right, there's always going to be a threat. Every year, I mean, even the 5-7 year, there's always threat of losing guys. And I have a responsibility as a head coach to make decisions. That's going to be I have to take the fans. I have to understand that I'm speaking for the fans. I'm doing what I have to respond to them, but that's not it. Also, the number one thing is that I have an obligation to the fans, but my major obligation is to the players, to the student athletes in our program. And so that means that if I have to make difficult decisions, then so be it. This is more important than me as the head coach. This is a movement that we're trying to create. Tom's no longer the AD. Right now. I said he's got his toes in sand right now. How awesome is that? That's not my time yet. But he's actually passed the baton to Brian Santiago, and I love the way Brian's been leading us as an athletic director. The entire administration. There's a movement happening, and we everything's done deliberately. It's not just by chance. We've got to keep intentionally moving and intentionally applying more pressure for us to get better.
How would you describe the challenge of stopping quarterbacks in this league?
The challenge what?
Of stopping quarterbacks in this league in the last decade?
Yeah. Well, I mean, every coach here can coach, man, and every style of offense is going to be a problem. I mean, there's so many great quarterbacks. A lot of them are here today, and they'll be here tomorrow. And their level of ability and skill set, but their football IQ, it's one of a kind. You see how advanced these young men are, and there's next level players at the quarterback position, and you combine that with innovative and brilliant offensive minds, it's going to cause a lot of issues for a lot of defensive coaches. So I'm the head coach. I don't call the plays. I don't call the offensive plays, defensive plays, or special teams plays. But I like them all. I just want our coaches to choose the right mix that's going to get us the best chance for victory. I don't care what style it is, but I do know one thing: you have to respect what you see on film, and you have to respect the resume of all these coaches in our conference. It's a deadly conference to be in, and it's going to be a lot of fun this year.
Coach Andrew Cherico, Latavius Murray's Knights 247. I'm just curious on your thoughts on UCF head coach Scott Frost returning to coach UCF once again, this time in the Big 12, knowing that you possibly had some history with him in Oregon.
Yeah, I mean, Scott Frost he's got a brilliant mind when it comes to football too. And so I think that he's in a comfortable setting now, something that he's familiar with. I think he's going to be a force to be reckoned with. I mean, that he's a smart guy, and he understands how to motivate his players. And then you look at his staff that he put together. I think he put a really dynamic staff together. So there's going to be every team in this conference is a problem, and it doesn't hurt that Scott Frost won national championship. Granted, when we were talking with him before, he said that none of his players were born back then. But you're officially an old man when you're talking about the days when none of your guys were alive when you played. I mean, I was talking. These guys were asking me, Coach, when was your freshman year? I said 94, and their reaction made me feel older than anything. They're like, what, 94? And I didn't understand that, but whatever, man. I turned 50 this year. I'm going to be officially old, and I can't wait for it to happen. Yeah, but Scott's going to do an amazing job there. I just hope he doesn't do it against us.
Kalani, Brett Yormark talked earlier about the importance of finding brands in this league that will become annual contenders in the playoff each year. I think BYU's positioned to become that program in this league.
I think everybody's positioned to do that. I think my job is, like I said, I don't know what the results of the games are going to be. We could play our best game and it still may not be good enough against that opponent that week. The goal is that we do that consistently. I felt like we did some really cool things last year. I don't think we played at our best consistently enough, and that's my job. That falls on me. That's what I'm focused on. The unfortunate part is that every coach that's here and that's going to be here tomorrow is thinking the same thing. So that's what makes this whole thing fun, man. It's going to be exciting, I'm sure, for you guys to follow and to cover. And like I said before, they're all competitive guys, and that's why I like talking to them and I like being their friends, because they think the way I do, which is like settle everything on the field. I'm not into campaigning, which is why I wasn't here. You didn't hear me talking about the playoffs and our situation. My thing is, like, we're happy to play in the Alamo Bowl game against a Heisman Trophy winner and against a talented team in Colorado and Coach Prime, and appreciating the opportunity and the gratitude that we have for this game. I don't campaign for things. I just want to be on the field, and let's get the best guys on the field.
Do you feel the preseason poll last year hurt you guys? Yormark felt it hurt Arizona State.
I don't know. I don't know how all that works. I'm not in those committees. I'm not in those meetings. I coach ball, so that's what I do. So I don't know where we're going to be when the rankings happen. I know if I'm doing my job the right way, then it should work out in our favor. If it means that people started way further behind because of the poll, I don't know. But has anybody got the preseason poll right from beginning to end?
2 years ago, Texas.
Yeah. So someone got it right from 1 to 25?
No.
Oh, okay. So that's what makes college football really exciting, right? I mean, I don't think anybody's even got the bracket right for March Madness. So that the intrigue is that I see where Commissioner Yormark's talking about. I think everybody sees that. I'm like the coaches here. Let's settle it on the field. I don't have a problem with it. We play 3 non-conference games. I would love to play an ACC team, an SEC team, and a Big Ten team. Line them up. Let's do this. Why can't we do that?
Coach, how did you get a BMX rider and a former high school receiver to become one of the best linebackers?
That's kind of how it works, right? You just kind of like, well, Jack, that's pretty cool that you can be a BMX rider, and I've always thought that was something that I would love to have done back in the day. You know, when you're little and you're riding your bike around thinking you're jumping these jumps, and then you see someone really do it, and all I did was go off a curb. That guy's he doesn't fear anything, and so when you put yourself and your body through all the risks that he does with a bicycle, I think being out here and chasing down the quarterback makes it a lot easier on him. But his motor that he's able to rely on, I mean, his explosiveness, that's something that I think Jay Hill's done a great job of utilizing his skill set. And then looking at Isaiah, I mean, Glasgow, when he was a receiver, it's hard telling a receiver in high school that you're going to play linebacker someday. So you start by telling him he's a safety, it's just, and you just kind of like give him an idea of what we knew there was going to be something special about him, the intensity that he played the game, and then how he was. I don't know if he was utilized enough with his skills and with his advantages, but the fact that he can run how he runs and he's extremely physical, that's hard to put together. Luckily, Jay and I have had experience in seeing those guys and projecting guys in that position and projecting them to the line of scrimmage or into the front seven.
You see,
How is NIL and revenue sharing impacted your program, especially on the recruiting trail?
Yeah, I think NIL and rev shares. I mean, that's everybody has to adjust to it. I think all we've done is added a general manager. So I don't need to know how everything works. I know some coaches do it that certain way. I don't have to know which bus is going to pick us up to take us to the stadium. I don't need to know all the details of everything. What I do like is you tell me what you think we can get done, and I like the ideas and away we go. Same thing with the offensive coordinator, defense coordinator, special teams. I don't call every play, but I've never seen a trick play I don't like, and I don't mind fakes on fourth down, and I don't mind being creative on defense with blitz packages. So test me, try me out. So I asked our general manager and our support staff to be creative and try to find ways to give us an advantage, and that's their department, that's their expertise. I want to delegate and trust my staff to do their job.
speaking of the play calling,
Just talking with Scott Frost about being back in the Big 12, what's one piece of advice that you would give him about today's Big 12?
Oh, he already knows ball. I mean, you can see it on film. I think a lot of people will say just be ready for the physical play, but Scott understands that. He knows that. I mean, look, you see how big he is and his style of play. That guy is an amazing quarterback and was really physical. So he understands the game better than a lot of people think.
in what areas have you seen Aaron Roderick evolve as a play caller running your offense?
Yeah, I think we've all kind of evolved. We're all older now, so we're getting there, and we've kind of put in some time, had some experiences, and I think that, like I mentioned before, he's able to create so many different styles of offense. We played under an air raid system, so he was able to do so many different things as an offensive play caller and offensive coordinator that I think it's going to fit any type of quarterback that can come our way. So, but that doesn't happen just right away. I think that takes time and takes some experience.
Are there play calls in the playbook that you and Roderick ran as players back when you were playing for Lavelle, still in that playbook?
Oh yeah, there's a lot of if you're watching our system, you can probably see it and go like, yeah, I understand that concept. It's a lot of the stuff that Norm Chow and that Lavelle had back in the day, and that, I mean, it's just football, so nobody here is creating anything. Even the RPOs and the triple option stuff was done already. They're just doing it from shotgun. But now everybody takes the snap from in a gun's position. We're old enough that we remember when everybody was under center. So now it's like it's flipped. So I don't know if we're gonna be old enough where the game flips again, but maybe that will be whoever has the creativity to change it again. Everyone will be ready for it, but I think the difficulty is making sure that you have to defend all these different styles of offense, and I think it seems like all the rules keep trying to benefit the offense more, which I don't mind. Whatever, it works out.
You touched on this a little bit, but in a league with so many quality quarterbacks and established quarterbacks, do you feel like you guys kind of need to maybe catch up for some lost time, being that you're now in a position where you do have questions around that position going into training camp?
I think that everybody has to go through different phases. I'm not sure we have to play catch up on anything. It's the conversation will be who deserves to play. That's in every position. There's competition. We just happen to be in a position where we have to choose a quarterback that's going to be ready to roll.
How good or how confident, I guess I should ask, do you feel about McKay or Grayson, or I don't know if you've had a chance to look at Bear very much because you got here a little bit later.
Yeah, if they're in our program, I have confidence that they should be able to handle it. I mean, why bring them onto your team if you don't think they can play? So yeah, my goal though is to create a system where we can see who earns the spot, and I only know one way: I play the best. So if you want to know how I play favorites, whoever's the best will play and will be start for us. That's at every position. And if you're a starter, then you better be ready for the guy behind you that's going to be hungry to take your spot. And then not only that, you have to be nice to him and you have to love him and be a mentor to him, and then try to fight him off taking your spot. It's a pretty cool dynamic.
Coach, how big of a breakout do you think is possible for L.J. Martin, and do you think Doak Walker and Heisman are those are reachable?
I just want LJ to play good, effective football from the beginning. I'm not worried about personal accolades. I think if we do things right, stuff will happen for him. But and I think LJ will tell you the same, that if he just does all the little things right, good things can happen. But I'm not going to put any pressure on him to do that. I mean, the fact that he's here, you guys have been around him when he's a true freshman, and now he's here. He's a veteran. He's a junior. He's like, his freshman year, he didn't say 2 words, and now he's out here. It's cool because I'm listening to him, like, wow, he's finding his voice, and that's really cool. And so that's helping him personally. But I think the game of football is becoming, he's become a lot easier now. He's in the same system, and I'm really looking forward to the fact that he's so big and he can run. That helps him out too. And then, we can't just think that he's going to be able to do it all by himself. But we have a core of running backs that we feel like can really help.
Last couple questions.
This culture that you've established, the live and learn kind of culture, can that survive in this day and age of players receiving revenue sharing, and maybe not having as much buy-in in the program as much as maybe they do in their own income earning potential? Can your culture thrive in that?
Yeah, the culture of love and learn, it can work. It will work. I mean, what's the other culture that everybody's talking about? Pay for play, and that you purchase the best players. I mean, are the most expensive players the best producers out there in any sport? I mean, whoever signs the highest salary, are they those guys, or my focus, if the focus is on money, and that's your culture, then let's see if that works for you. I'm not going to coach that way. All rev share means that these guys get more money in their pockets than we did when we played, and that they have opportunities, and I'm happy for them. But more money doesn't mean that everything's going to be fixed. They have to receive the education. I mean, if you look at it, money causes a lot of issues and can be a huge distraction. What we want to do is eliminate that from entering into our culture. Obviously, people will talk about it. I don't want the focus to be on that. I want it to be like, if you play football, you get an opportunity to make more money than I did. And I want to be the old guy saying, oh, my check used to be $750 a month, and now you got all this stuff. But if you don't educate them on how to use their money and budget, like what do you need to live off of? These guys make a lot of money a month, and so teaching them about the future, things like that. Education is going to allow them to learn, right? So my focus isn't on the money. It's creating longevity and creating an opportunity for you to think about your future and not living in the now. And then if you love ball, come to BYU. It's a place you can be focused on football completely. You can make sacrifices. You have a small window of time that you can play football and be all about ball. If not, then go somewhere else where you can party. But you don't love ball, like, you want to go party and have that experience, that's great. But I want guys that love ball and want to be in this culture. So it's finding the guys that want to be here for the right reasons. And sometimes that doesn't mean that we might have to tell some guys no, and this won't be the place. And I'm okay with that too. I want to coach the guys that want to be here and be here doing it our way.
Coach, how rewarding is it to take a young man out of a tough situation that he might have growing up, family situation, maybe not a lot of money, see him go through, graduate, get a diploma, and see him change his family's situation? And do you have a couple examples that you can maybe think back of that you're pretty proud of? Not proud of, but
there's a bunch. I could name hundreds, but I mean that's what it's all about. And I feel like the money is distracting them from actually receiving that education, and all the transferring that people are doing. When you transfer from one school to the next, you lose credits. They don't all transfer for you. So how many of these guys are really focused on getting their degree? And then creating a network for yourself where you can actually work in the community and have a profession other than football. Eventually it's going to end. I mean, not all of us can be like Tom Brady and just decide when we want to retire. You know what I mean? But it's inevitable. The game of football will end for everyone, and it's usually when you don't want it to. Now, what plan do you have? So someone that's thinking only about money and what they get the here and now, this isn't going to be the right program for them. But if you want to start an investment fund, or you want to start thinking about your future and plan for yourself later on in life, and see that your money can really work for you, come here. Then I can work with you. But if it's like, nope, I got to receive my money now and this is it, that's not going to work. This is not the school that will really work with. And this isn't the football program. We're in alignment with what we do as a school and what we do with our church affiliation, the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. And so we're going to continue that way, and there's a lot of people that want to be here for those reasons.
Kalani, some of your best teams have started off the season with a quarterback battle, 16, 20, we can go through the list, but what is it about a quarterback battle to start a season that kind of brings out the best in your teams during your time here at BYU?
Yeah, the guys will rally around it. They'll rally no matter who the decision is and who the player is. They'll rally around that situation and that player, and then hopefully that player steps up and plays out of this world and plays for his teammates. And so when that happens, beautiful things can happen. But we got to go through the process, and we got to do all the hard work. There's a lot of really cool things that are happening with us. We got a long ways to go. We got to make up a lot of difficult hard work and physical football, things like that we're going to do in fall camp. I'm excited for it. I'm looking forward to the challenge, and so whatever decisions we have to make and who plays in what positions, the rest of the guys will rally around everything that we decide on.
All right, thank you.
Thank you guys, appreciate it.